Hello and welcome to day 2. So it is a Saturday. Maybe the hangover has disappeared, maybe not. But today we've got a nice long 1-hour class, but it's going to be all about the introduction into Vinyasa. So even if you have done yoga before, or maybe you've never tried it before, this is a great way to break that mold and find some of those basic poses once again. So I really hope you enjoy. If you need yoga blocks or yoga straps, something similar like a big chunky book or a band from a dressing gown, you can grab those now, and then I'll meet you back on the mat. We'll get ourselves nice and comfy, lying down. You can let the legs go out long, feet falling apart. Or if you want a little bit of a hip opener while we lie here, you can bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall apart. But whatever we do, we're just going to close our eyes and give ourselves this time at the beginning of the class to quiet the mind and center ourselves. So today's class, I'm going to kind of go back to basics, and we'll do a typical Vinyasa class, going through all the basic moves and poses that we would usually do in a Vinyasa yoga class. So maybe at this time, if you are more familiar with the poses, just give yourself this intention at the beginning of the class to have this sort of beginner's mind and taking on all the new poses or familiar poses with that beginner's mind and stripping back and reassessing what you already know. Or if you are a beginner and then you've already got that clear mind and trying to follow along. So as we're lying here, we'll just start to deepen the breath. Starting to really bring that awareness to the breath. Taking a big inhale through the nose. Feeling it going all the way down into the belly, and if you want, you can place the right hand down onto the belly to encourage it all the way down there. And then exhale, letting the belly fall back down. And again, inhale through the nose, breathing all the way down into that right hand, letting the right hand rise up into the room. And exhale, letting it fall back down. And we go one more time, inhale through the nose, all the way into the belly, and then this time we bring it all the way up, another little sip of air up into the chest. You can place the left hand up onto the chest. So really filling the lungs up, and then as you exhale, let the breath go out the chest and then out the belly. Having this 2-part breath, we go again, inhale through the nose, down into the belly, another little bit of air up into the chest, and then exhale out the chest and then out the belly. And then we'll close the mouth now. And just keep this long breath coming in and out through the nose. Big breath in through the nose. And out through the nose. And taking the hands to the outside of the thighs or the knees and gently bringing the knees back up to center. And then everyone bring the knees into the chest. You can gently open your eyes now, having a nice soft focus. Squeezing the knees in, gently rocking side to side, massaging that lower back. Inhaling here, filling the lungs, and exhale, release. Letting the left leg go out long, keeping that right knee into the chest. And then taking the right hand on the inside of the right leg and taking a hold of either the ankle or the shin or even the outside of the foot. And then we're going to draw that right knee out towards the side. and bringing the sole of the right foot parallel with that ceiling. So we want to find this 90-degree angle with that leg, drawing the knee down towards the side. You can place the left hand on that left hip to encourage it to stay down so that left hip doesn't come on up. And we inhale here. You can slightly release the foot as we inhale, and as we exhale, we pull with that hand against the foot, deepening into the stretch. And again, inhale and exhale. And then slowly releasing that foot, taking it all the way out long as we bring the left knee into the chest, squeezing it in to start with. And then taking the left arm on the inside of the leg, and again holding the shin, the ankle, or the outside of the foot. And then letting that knee fall out towards the side as we bring the foot up towards the ceiling, flexing the foot and having that 90-degree angle with the leg. And again, we can encourage that right hip to stay down. Take a big inhale here, slightly release the foot, let it go out a little bit. And then as we exhale, we pull that hand against that foot to draw that knee a little bit further down towards the side. Feeling it just behind the glutes in the outer hip. Inhale here. And exhale, drawing it down. And then slowly release the foot, bringing both knees into the chest again. Squeeze it in. Little rock side to side. You can even circle the knees, circle the shins one way. And then the other way. Gently massaging the back. And then from here, we're going to rock up and down the spine. So rounding the back, rolling up and down, massaging through each vertebrae of the spine. And then the next couple of rocks will cross over at the ankles, roll over the feet, plant the hands in front, and then take those knees back, finding our tabletop position. Knees under the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, fingers spread. From here, we're going to start to rock forwards and backwards, warming up the wrists. As you know, we do spend a lot of time on our hands, and our wrists can start to ache, so it's just really important to protect those. You can flip one palm, rocking forwards and backwards. And then flipping the other palm. Keeping that breath going. Inhale as we come forwards, exhale as we come back. And then in your own time, bringing those hands back up underneath the shoulders. Having that flat back, that tabletop position. And then we're going to find some space in the spine, moving through our cat-cows. Inhale as we drop the belly down, lifting the chest, lifting the chin. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, we start to round the back, tucking the chin and the tailbone. And again, inhale, dropping the belly down, lift the chest and the chin, pulling the hands towards the knees. Exhale, push the hands into the mat, rounding the back, separating the shoulder blades. Inhale again, moving with that breath, nice and slowly, nice and controlled. Exhale to round. Just one more inhale. And exhale. And then from here, we're going to find that flat back again, that tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend the left leg all the way back behind us. And then we extend the opposite arm, so the right arm reaches out in front. So notice how our core starts to engage. You want to suck that belly button in, squeezing the core. And then from here, we inhale, lift the foot and the hand just a little bit, dropping the belly, lifting the chest. So finding that cow belly. And then as we exhale, we round the back and we bring the knee and the elbow together. Maybe even you can get the forehead and the knee together, so curling it in. We go again, inhale, extend, lift the arm, lift the chest. Exhale, we round. And again, inhale, extend, we find that lift. Exhale, we find that rounding, that closing. Inhale, extend one more time. Reaching out, and then as we exhale, we bring that hand and that knee back down. A little wiggle with the hips side to side, then the shoulders. Before we move through the other side, we inhale, extend the right leg behind us and the left arm in front, reaching the hand and the foot up, lifting the chest, dropping the belly down. And then as we exhale, we round the back, bringing the knee and the elbow, maybe even the knee and the forehead together, curling underneath. Inhale, extend, find that lifting sensation, and exhaling, rounding. And again, inhale, and exhale to round. One more, inhale, extend, lifting, and exhaling, rounding. We inhale, extend one more time, finding length, and then exhale, bringing the hand and the knee back down. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under, pushing through the hands and the feet, lifting the knees, lifting the hips nice and high up towards the ceiling so we find that upside down V shape. Bending into the legs to start with and tucking the tailbone up. So lifting those hips as high as possible, finding that nice flat back. So we don't want to round in our shoulders. If we're rounding, bend the legs a little more and lengthen out the spine, pushing the chest towards those knees. And then we'll start to walk through the feet, gently starting to find that opening in the backs of the legs. Drawing one heel down at a time, stretching through the toes, the calves, the hamstrings. And then slowly coming back to that neutral downward dog, making sure those feet are hip distance apart. We're going to inhale, come up onto our toes, lift the heels nice and high. And as we exhale, we draw the heels down a little bit closer towards the mat. They won't touch, or they might touch, whatever is more flexible in your back of your legs. Inhale, we lift the heels up. And exhale, drawing the heels down. One more time, inhale, lift up onto the toes. And exhale, draw the heels down. This time we inhale, come up onto the toes. And then keep shifting forwards, rounding the spine as we shift all the way forwards into our high plank position. Shoulders over the wrists, squeeze the core. Exhale, bend into the legs, lifting the hips up and back, finding our downward facing dog. So we're finding this kind of ripple sensation through the spine as we do these plank rocks. So we inhale, come up onto the toes. Feel the hips coming up as we round the spine, squeeze the navel up. Rounding the shoulders, letting the hips drop, finding our high plank position, strong core. Exhale, bend into the legs, lifting the hips up, and then finding our downward facing dog. We'll go again. Inhale, come up onto the toes, rolling, rippling through the spine. High plank position, strong core. Exhale, bend into the legs, letting the hips come up and back, finding our downward facing dog. Inhale, we shift forwards, find our high plank position once again. And this time we exhale, Chaturanga. We want to shift forwards first so the shoulders can pass the wrists. And everyone lower the knees down for this first one. Squeezing the core, we look forwards as we take the elbows back in line with the body. This is Chaturanga, halfway down. Strong in those triceps, taking the shoulders away from the ears. And then we come all the way down onto the belly. Untucking the toes. From here, we're going to lift our hands off the mat so they come up towards our shoulders. And then using that lower back, we lift the chest. This is baby cobra. So we're really squeezing that lower back to find the lift. And then exhale, lower back down. Chin towards the mat. We go again. Inhale, lift the hands, lift the chest. See how much height we can get. And exhale, lower back down. One more time, inhale, lift the hands, lift the chest. And then from here, gently placing the hands down and apply a little bit of pressure into the hands to find our cobra. Pulling the elbows back, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lowering down, chin towards the mat. We go again, inhale, gentle pressure in the hands, lifting the chest. And exhale, lowering down. One more time, inhale, lifting. And exhale, lowering. And then from here, we're going to find our upward facing dog. So another back bend, bringing your hands just behind your shoulders. They might need to come a little bit further back, so they're more underneath your elbows. And then pushing the tops of the feet down into the mat, we start to lift or straighten our hands, our arms, and we lift the legs off the mat. So you're pushing the tops of the feet down into the mat, and that's going to activate the legs. So we're not sinking the hips down. The legs aren't touching down onto the mat. They all want to be lifted. You're squeezing that core so the hips are lifted. And then we lift the chest, finding our upward facing dog. And then as we exhale, we squeeze the core, lift the hips up, and then take them back, finding our downward facing dog. So walking through the feet, drawing one heel down at a time. So you have those different variations in your back bend when we come through to the vinyasas. You can either take baby cobra, where you lift your hands. You can take cobra, where your hips are down on the mat. Or you take upward facing dog, when the legs are lifted, everything is active and pulling up. So you have those variations. And I'll take you through all three back bends as we take 3 vinyasa rocks from here. So we start, inhale, shifting forwards, finding our high plank position. Exhale, chaturanga, shift forwards first. We can lower the knees down if we want to, or lowering one knee, or keeping the knees both lifted as we take the elbows back. Halfway, this is chaturanga. Then we come all the way down onto the belly, untucking the toes. Lift the hands, lift the chest, baby cobra. Strengthening that lower back. Exhale, lower back down, tucking the toes under. Either pushing through the knees or keeping the knees lifted as we take the hips up and back. Downward dog. Variation 1. Next variation, we inhale, shift forwards, find our high plank position. Exhale, chaturanga, shift forwards, take the gaze forwards, lower the knees if we need to as we take the elbows back halfway. Strong core, chaturanga. And then again, all the way down onto the belly, untucking the toes. Cobra position, this time gentle pressure in the hands, using that lower back to lift the chest. Exhale, lowering down, tucking the toes, finding ourselves back into our downward facing dog. The last variation is with upward facing dog. So we inhale, shift forwards, find our high plank position. Taking the gaze forwards, shifting forwards, exhale, chaturanga. You can use your knees as well. And then upward facing dog, we flip onto the tops of the feet, activate the legs, straighten the arms, lifting the chest. The hips are lifted, squeeze the core. And then exhale, lift the hips a little higher, finding our downward facing dog. And then again, we'll walk through the feet. And then keeping that motion going, we'll walk the feet all the way up towards the top of the mat. Nice and slowly. The feet can be hip distance apart. Slight bend in the legs as we hang over the thighs. Swaying the arms. You can take a hold of opposite elbow, creating this little hammock with our arms swinging side to side. Release the neck, shake the head. You can do a few little bops up and down, releasing the back. Whatever feels nice, letting the breath go. And then releasing the hands back down towards the mat. Rolling up to standing nice and slowly. Bend into the legs first. Letting the tailbone drop and then rolling through each vertebrae of the spine. Head comes up last. And as we get there, we roll the shoulders up towards the ears, down the back, palms facing forwards. Finding our mountain pose, tucking the pelvis under. Activate the legs, activate the arms, the core. This is a very active pose, and we find this even in our upward facing dog like we did before. All of our muscles are active. Inhaling here and exhale. From here, just toe heel the feet together. Make sure the toes are touching and the heels can be just slightly apart. Inhale, we lift the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we forward fold down. Inhale, we're going to slide the hands up the shins, creating this flat back, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And as we exhale, we plant the hands down, stepping the right leg back, only big long stance, and then drop the back knee down. As we inhale, we lift the arms up, pushing those hips forwards. You can even take the gaze up towards the ceiling if that's okay in your neck. And then as we exhale, we start to shift the weight back, straightening that front leg, flexing the front foot. You can either bring the hands down or they can shoot all the way behind. And then we inhale, shift forwards, plant the foot, lift the arms up, finding that little back bend. And again, exhale, straightening the front leg, shifting it back, sweeping the arms all the way back behind us, bowing down. One more time, inhale, shifting forwards, lift the arms. And exhale, taking it back, bowing down. This time we inhale, come forwards, plant the hands, frame the front foot, stepping straight back to our downward dog. Taking one vinyasa, we inhale, shift forwards, high plank. Exhale, shift forwards again, chaturanga, lower the knees if we need to, take the elbows back in line with the body. All the way to the belly for cobra, baby cobra, or finding our upward facing dog. And then exhale, taking yourselves back to your downward facing dog. From here, we inhale, lift the left leg up. And as we exhale, we step the foot through as close as we can between those hands as we drop the back knee down. So it's our same foot forwards again. We inhale, lift the arms up. And then as we exhale, we bring the hands down, planting them in front of the foot to take a big step up to a forward fold at the top of the mat, toes touching. Inhale, we slide the hands up the shins, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, roll up to standing, bring the arms up overhead, the palms can touch. And as we exhale, we go straight back down for the other side. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, pull out the hands, step the left leg back, big long stance, dropping the back knee down. As we inhale, we lift the arms up overhead, pushing those hips forwards. Again, you can find that little back bend, lifting the gaze if it's okay in the neck. And then as we exhale, we start to straighten the front leg, shifting the weight back, sweeping the arms all the way back behind us. Or if we lose our balance, we can bring the hands down. And then we inhale, shift forwards again, lifting the arms up, bend into the front leg, lifting the arms. Exhale, straightening the front leg, bowing down, flex that front foot, opening up to the back of the leg. We go again, inhale, lifting up. And exhale as we shift back. This time we inhale, shift forwards, plant the hands, frame the front foot, stepping all the way back to our downward dog. And then once we get there, we take that vinyasa. We inhale, rock forwards, high plank. Exhale, shifting forwards, chaturanga. Use your knees, one knee, or keep them lifted halfway down. All the way to the belly for cobra, or finding our upward facing dog. And exhale, taking it back to our downward facing dog. Finishing off this side, we inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, stepping the foot through as close as we can between those hands as we drop the back knee down. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we bring the hands all the way out in front, stepping up to our forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, rolling up to standing, bring the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring the palms to the chest. Just taking this little break, we're going to take our feet out hip distance apart. And then having a slight bend into our legs. We're going to take a forward fold.
You can have a nice big deep bend into the legs as we hang over. And then we're going to flip the palms up. So the palms are facing up towards us. And then you're going to step the right foot on top of the right hand. So either you're going to get the toes just on top of the fingers, or maybe you can get those toes all the way to the butts of the palm, so they reach up towards the wrist. And then we lift the left foot and slide the left hand underneath the left foot. So we should be standing on our hands. We can kind of say you've done a handstand, I guess. And then from here, we can keep those legs bent, or if you do have that flexibility, you can start to straighten the legs, whatever you prefer. And then from here, we inhale, start to find that halfway lift, so lengthening out the back, inhaling here. And then as we exhale, we pull with those hands, letting the elbows go out wide, drawing ourselves down towards our legs. Finding this deep forward fold. You can even wiggle your toes, massaging your hands. Inhaling and exhaling. And then slowly bending back into the legs, stepping off one hand at a time. Take a little wiggle with the legs. And then again, we'll toe heel the feet back together, toes touching, heels just slightly apart. Rolling up to standing, bend the legs, roll all the way up, lift the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bringing the palms to the chest. And inhale, we lift the arms. Exhale, we forward fold. Inhale, sliding the hands up the shins, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step that right leg back again, big long stance, dropping the back knee down. So we've been here before. We inhale, lift the arms up. You can lift the gaze if you wish. And then as we exhale, we shift the weight back, sweep the arms all the way back behind us, flexing the front foot. And again, inhale, shift forwards, lift the arms. Exhale, taking it back. Inhale, coming forwards, lifting. And exhale, taking it back, folding. Our next inhale, shift forwards, frame the front foot with the hands, step straight back to downward dog. Inhale to a vinyasa, shifting forwards first, squeeze the core. Exhale, chaturanga, shift forwards, lower the knees if you need, halfway down. To the belly for cobra, or flipping onto the tops of the feet. Activate the legs. Upward facing dog, and exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. From here, we inhale, lift the left leg. And as we exhale, we step that left foot in between the hands, again, dropping the back knee down. Inhale, we lift the arms up once again. And as we exhale, we bring those hands out in front, big step up back to that forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, we halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, we forward fold. Inhaling, rolling up to standing, bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, going straight back down for the other side. Last round. Inhale, we slide the hands up the shins, flat back. Exhale, planting the hands, step the left leg back this time, big long stance, drop the back knee down. We inhale, lift the arms up. Again, you can lift the gaze, finding that little back bend. Exhale, shifting the weight back, straighten the front leg, folding down, half splits. You can take the arms behind you. Inhale, shifting forwards, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, taking the weight back, bowing down. And again, we inhale, come forwards, lift the arms. Last time, exhale, taking it back, folding down, flexing that front foot. Inhale, shift forwards, planting that hand on the outside of that foot and stepping straight back to our downward dog. Vinyasa, we inhale, rock forwards, high plank, squeezing the core. Exhale, Chaturanga. Halfway down, use your knees to help build that support in your arms. And then find your back bend of choice. And exhale, downward dog. Finishing off this round, we inhale, lift the right leg up. And exhale as we step the foot as close as we can between those hands. Drop the back knee down. Final lift, inhale, lift the arms. And exhale, bringing the hands out in front, stepping up to that forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, move forward fold. Inhaling, rolling up to standing, bring the arms up overhead. Palms can touch. Exhale, bringing the palms to the chest. From here, we are going to start to come down into a seated position. We'll come through chair pose to start with. So we'll keep those toes together, bend into the legs, squeeze the knees together. And then from here, you can bring the hands out in front as we start to lower the hips a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, until we can come all the way down onto our butt. You might need to bring the hands out behind you, rolling onto our backs. We're going to work a little bit of that core because, as you know, we use so much of our core in Vinyasa. So it's really important to keep it nice and strong. So here we're going to find boat pose, Navasana. So we want to roll the shoulders back. And then from here we can either come onto the toes, squeezing those knees together. You can take a hold of the backs of the knees and we can lift one leg up, making sure that shin is parallel with the ground. And then we can bring the other leg up. And we may just stay here, thinking about holding the backs of the knees, and rolling the shoulders back, puffing the chest up, squeezing that core. And if you want to take a little bit further, you can take the hands off and reach them out behind, or you can reach them up overhead. You can even straighten the legs if you want. It's a little bit too intense for me. So we're going to find this high boat pose here. And then as we inhale, we slowly lengthen out, lowering down, but keeping the shoulders and the heels lifted off the mat, squeezing the core, low boat. And then exhale, we lift back up, high boat. So that's one. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lifting back up, two. Inhale, lower. Exhale, three. Squeeze the core. Inhale, lower. Exhale, four. Inhale, lower. Exhale, five. Lifting. Inhale, lower. Exhale, squeeze it up, six. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, seven. Inhale, lower. Exhale, eight. Two more. Inhale, slowly down. Exhale, nine. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, 10. And take hold of the backs of the knees. Roll down onto the back. Squeeze the knees into the chest. Big breath in. And big breath out. You can gently circle the knees, getting into those hips. As all this core work can really target those hip flexors. A few big deep breaths in. Trying to regain that control over the breath. Slowing it down. Because we're going to do that 10 more reps, just like we did before, just one more time. So when you're ready, start to rock up, coming back to that seated position. My core is on fire already. And taking a hold of the backs of the knees, already starting to roll the shoulders back, lifting the chest. And then we start to lift the feet up, having those shins parallel with the ground, squeezing the knees together. Again, you can keep the knees here and that can help you bring the legs up when you do the up and down, or you can extend the arms out in front. So we go for 10. Inhale, lower down. That low dish, squeeze the core. Exhale, squeeze up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, 2. Inhale, lower. Exhale, 3. Inhale, lower down, lift the shoulders and heels. Exhale, 4. Inhale, lower. Exhale, 5. Squeeze the core. Inhale, lower. Exhale, 6. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, 7. 3 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, 10. Take all the way back to the knees. Roll onto the back. Again, squeezing those knees into the chest. Really big breath in. And big breath out. Let it go out the mouth. And again, you can circle those knees. Getting into those hips. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to round the spine once again, rocking up and down the back like we did at the beginning of the class. But this time we're going to create as much momentum as we can to find ourselves in a forward fold, standing at the top of the mat. Try and get that as much momentum as possible to not use your hands. Sweeping all the way forwards. You might need to step a little bit closer towards the top of the mat. Finding our forward fold. And again, we'll just find that nice hang over the legs. You can bend into the legs to sway side to side. Big breath in, inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. And then from here, bringing the toes to touch just one more time. Heels just slightly apart. Rolling up to standing, bend into the legs, rolling all the way up through the spine. Bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bring the palms to the chest. Finding a sun salutation A. We inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, we forward fold down. Squeezing the core. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, make your way back through your vinyasa, stepping or even hopping back into your chaturanga. Halfway down, strong core. To the belly for cobra or finding your upward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale, lifting the hips up, using that core. Exhale, downward facing dog. Finding 3 breaths here. And exhale it out. And again, inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhaling. As we exhale, we're going to bend the knees and look between the hands, step, walk or hop the feet towards the top of the mat. Toes touching, we inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, rolling up to standing. Bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bring the palms together at the chest. From here, we're going to make sure those toes are together, sitting back into that chair pose, so bending into the legs, squeezing the knees together, squeeze the core. And we want to protect that lower back, so we almost want to round that lower back, so really tucking the navel up. And then from here, we lift the arms, trying to get the biceps in line with those ears. Inhaling here. And then as we exhale, we straighten the legs and we forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, sliding the hands up, the shins flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, make your way back through your vinyasa, stepping or hopping back. Chaturanga, halfway down. Belly for cobra or upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, lifting the hips up and back, finding our downward facing dog. From here, we're going to keep moving. We inhale, lift the right leg up, nice and high. And then as we exhale, we're going to step that foot through as close as we can between those hands. Again, if it doesn't reach, you can step the foot there, take a hold of the ankle and hop it forwards. Just checking in with the feet, making sure they're on those train track positions. They're a little bit further apart from each other. That's going to help with stability. And then strong through the legs, we inhale, lift up, finding our high lunge. Bending into the front leg, drawing the back heel behind us. And if you feel a little bit in the lower back, you can bend that back leg. That's just going to round that tailbone under. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then as we exhale, we're going to drop the back heel down so it's parallel with the short edge of the mat. And then open up into our warrior two. So still bending into that front leg, making sure that knee is rotating outwards. Strong in those arms as we take the gaze over that front hand. Then from here, we inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the arms up overhead. And if you wish, you can flex that front foot, lift the toes as well. And then as we exhale, we bring the palms together, bring them through the chest, bend back into that front leg and open the arms out wide, warrior two. So moving through this with the breath, we inhale, lift the arms, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bring the palms through the chest, sinking back down, warrior two. And again, inhale, lifting. And exhale, sinking. Two more. Inhale, we lift. Moving with the breath. Exhale, sink. Find a little bit more depth in our warrior two. Last time, inhale, lift. And exhale, sinking down. From here, we'll flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, reach that right arm all the way up. And then behind us, keeping that chest nice and open, bending into the front leg. Find that big side body stretch. Inhaling here. Exhale, we stay. Our next inhale, we'll shift back forwards, finding our warrior two. And then we're going to straighten that front leg. Finding our triangle pose, I want you to push the hips forward, so squeezing the glutes, push the hips forwards. Notice how we're staying on this one plane. And we want to keep that with our chest and our shoulders. So we start to extend that right hand all the way out in front. Already making sure that that butt's not sticking out, but we're squeezing it underneath. Shifting, shifting, shifting as far forwards as we can come. And then we start to bring that hand down on the inside of that leg. And the top arm comes up. So just checking in with yourself, making sure the shoulder doesn't roll down. If you do find it rolling down, then we just slide that bottom hand a little higher up that leg. So we're all in one plane. And your chest is nice and open, squeezing the glutes, pushing the hips forwards. Inhaling here. And then as we exhale, we'll bend into the front leg, lifting back up, warrior two, inhale. Exhale as we windmill the hands down, frame the front foot with the hands. Stepping back, either take the vinyasa or straight to downward dog. I'll give you the option because we've done so many vinyasas this class. And taking it back, joining everyone in downward dog. So last little bit of our standing poses. We inhale, lift the left leg up nice and high. Exhale, we'll step that foot through as close as we can between those hands. Again, if it doesn't reach, you can take a hold of the ankle and step the foot up. Checking in with those feet, making sure they're on those train track positions, strong in those legs. We inhale, stand up tall, high lunge. Bending into the front leg, reaching the back heel back. And then if you want, you can bend into that back leg, tucking the tailbone under. Inhaling here, finding space. And then as we exhale, we'll drop the back heel down and open up into our warrior two. So strong in that back foot, it's pushing down into the mat. So we've got that nice strong leg, bending into the front leg, that knee rotating outwards. Chest is open towards the side, but we take our gaze over that front hand. From here, we'll flip the front, oh no, we're not doing that yet. From here, we're going to straighten the front leg, lift the arms up overhead. Again, you can flex the front foot to come onto the back front heel. Bringing the palms together, and then as we exhale, we bring the palms through the chest, bend back into that front leg, open up, warrior two. Inhale, we lift the arms, straighten the front leg. Exhale, sinking down, warrior two, strong through those arms. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, sinking down. Inhale, we lift. Moving with the breath. Exhale, warrior two. Last time. Inhale, we find that lift, reaching the arms up.
And exhale, sinking back down, warrior two. Now we flip the front palm. Reach that left hand all the way up towards the ceiling, find length, and then it can start to reach behind, finding that side body stretch. That back hand can just rest onto that back leg. Inhaling here, and exhale, sink a little bit deeper into that front leg, stretching back. On that next inhale, we're going to shift back forwards, find our warrior two. And then we start to straighten that front leg, finding our triangle pose. Already starting to squeeze the glutes, pushing those hips forwards. And then shift the weight forwards, hinging at that front hip, reaching that left hand all the way forward, squeezing the glutes. And then we start to bring that hand down on the inside of that leg. And the top arm comes up. Opening that chest, so rolling that top shoulder back. Again, if something is dropping down, then just slide that hand a little bit higher up that leg. Squeezing the glutes, pushing those hips forwards. Inhaling here. And then as we exhale, we bend into that front leg, lifting back up into our warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands down, framing the front foot with the hands. And again, I give you that option to take a vinyasa or step straight back to downward dog. Inhale, back bend if you're there. And exhale, downward dog. And then when everyone's in our downward dog, we're all going to lower the knees down, untuck the toes, take our hips back towards our heels and rest in our child's pose. Bringing the forehead down towards the mat if it's available. Feeling the body heavy against the ground. This is definitely not an active pose. This is your resting pose. Inhaling here. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. From here, we're going to plant the hands out in front, tucking the toes under, and again, pushing through the hands and the feet, lifting the hips up back to our downward dog. I'm going to slow the class down a little bit, finding some deeper stretches. We're going to come into our pigeon pose to this hip stretch. So from here, we're going to inhale, lift the right leg up nice and high to start with, finding space. And then as we exhale, we bring that shin all the way forwards and bringing the shin just behind the wrists. I want you to flex that front foot as much as possible before we rest the shin down. And again, you can have that shin on any angle. It might be more like an arrow, or if you're super flexible in the hip, it might be more parallel with the front edge of the mat. But then wherever we are, we drop that back knee down. And if you want to find a little bit more space, you can tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and take a little hop back with that back kneecap, finding a little bit more space. Now, if this is super uncomfortable and you're feeling it in your knee, and more in like a twinging way, then just come out of this pose, or you may even want to rock onto the side of that hip and just have that back leg bent behind us. That might be more comfortable. But pigeon pose shouldn't be painful. It's not a very comfortable pose, it's a very deep pose, but it shouldn't be painful in any way. So just checking with yourself here. Taking some big long breaths. If you want to take a little bit further, you can start to walk the hands out in front. Maybe each breath you take, you walk the hands a little bit further out. And eventually, if you have that flexibility, you might come onto the forearms, or bringing the chest down. But I encourage you here to close your eyes. So it's really going to focus the breath, sending it to the outer hip, sinking down. Each inhale, you can slightly lift. And each exhale, you sink a little bit deeper into this hip stretch. I really want you to make sure that front foot is staying flexed
That's just going to protect that knee. Because the knee is twisting in not a normal position, as you flex the foot, it just activates all the tendons around that ankle and that knee, so it protects the knee joint. That's why we do it. We'll take one more breath. Inhale here. And exhale. And slowly walking the hands back up. They're there. Just in front of the shin, we tuck the back toes, pushing through the hands and that back foot, and letting that leg go all the way back, stepping back to our downward dog. And we'll just walk through the feet once again. Just check in with yourself. Maybe you feel a little bit different from one hip to the other. Maybe you don't, that's okay. And then we'll bounce the side out. Inhale, lift the left leg up, nice and high. Exhale, shifting forwards, flexing that foot first, bringing the flexed foot down as then we gently place the shin behind the hands, any angle we have, tucking the back toes, hopping that back kneecap, finding more space for that hip. And then we can untuck the toes and sink down into our pigeon pose. And again, if this starts to hurt, then please come out. And if you want a variation, you can roll onto the side of the hip and bend that back leg in. You can even fall down if that's okay. But wherever we are, we gently start to take some big breaths in, sending the breath into that outer hip. And if you want, you can walk the hands out in front. Slowly walking the hands, coming onto the forearms, the forehead, whatever you want. Inhaling here. Exhale, close the eyes. And again, inhale. And exhale. Big breath in, sending it to that hip. Inhale. And exhale, sinking a little deeper, melting into the stretch. And next inhale, we'll walk the hands back up. And then here we're going to roll onto the outside of that left hip. And everyone bring the legs all the way out in front, giving them a little shake. A little wiggle, a little wobble. Find a forward fold before we come onto our back. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And then as we exhale, we want to hinge at the hips, keeping that chest up first, so keeping the back nice and long. As we start to forward fold forwards, trying to get the nose past the knees. And then we can bring the hands down. Taking a hold of what we can, we inhale, find our halfway lift, flat back, lifting a little bit more. And then exhale, pull with our hands, drawing ourselves down. Like we were doing in that forward fold where we were holding on, we were standing onto our hands. Inhale here. And exhale. And nice and slowly rolling back up. Bending the legs, planting the feet out in front. We're just going to scoop the butt up towards the heels and roll down onto the back. Rolling all the way onto our back nice and slowly. Make sure those feet are hip distance apart, toes pointing forwards. And then make sure you can tickle the back of the heels with your fingertips. Just a tickle, so they're not too close and they're not too far away. Finding our bridge pose, just a nice gentle back bend at the end of the class. We inhale, push through the feet, lift the hip bones up. If you want, you can walk the shoulder blades underneath the body, puffing the chest up. Make sure we don't turn our head side to side, it just protects the neck. Pushing through the feet, lift the hip bones up towards the ceiling. Inhale here.
Stay as we exhale. Our next inhale will come up onto our toes, lift the heels. And then as we exhale, we'll roll down the back nice and slowly. Rolling through each vertebrae. From here, bringing both knees into the chest, squeezing them in. Hopping the hips over towards the left. And then taking both knees over towards the right. Guiding the knees down. You can extend the left arm out wide. If it's okay in the neck, the gaze can follow. Breathing into this twist at the end of the class. Inhale. As we exhale, we'll close our eyes. And again, inhale. And exhale. Our next inhale, coming back up through center. And then we want to hop those hips over towards the right as we guide the knees over towards the left. Both knees coming down, extending the arm out wide. And again, if it's okay in that neck, you can let the gaze follow towards that hand over towards the right. Closing the eyes here. Sending the breath into this twist down into the belly. Inhale. And exhale, release. And again, big breath in through the nose. Long breath out through the nose. Our next inhale, coming back through center. Squeezing the knees into the chest. And then slowly making our way to our final resting pose, our Shavasana, letting the legs go out long, taking the feet to the corners of the mat. Let the feet fall apart and be heavy. The hands can be down by the sides, palms facing up. Closing the eyes here. Taking a big breath in through the nose. Filling the lungs up and then holding at the top. And then we open the mouth, sigh the breath out nice and loud. Feeling the muscles relaxing as we do. We'll just do that one more time. Inhale through the nose. Holding at the top, filling the lungs. And then open the mouth, sigh the breath out. Relaxing the muscles. Then letting go of the breath now. And staying with this for just the last couple of minutes. To let the benefits of the class settle down. From here, we'll start to deepen the breath. Gently wiggling the fingers and toes. Circling the wrists, the ankles, gradually building movement back into the body. Waking yourself back up, reaching the arms up overhead for a full body stretch. And then in your own time, rolling over onto your side. And we can gradually make our way up to a comfortable seated position. Facing the front. Still with our eyes closed. We'll bring the palms together. Take the forehead down towards the fingertips. Just give yourself this time to thank yourself for doing this class. And I thank you. Namaste.